Hello and welcome to another engaging edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry, your host for this enlightening journey. Today we bring you stories that educate, inspire and celebrate resilience, from combating the global challenge of antimicrobial resistance to highlighting Jamaica's entrepreneurial spirit and addressing the vital topic of mental health. We have something for everyone. So stay with us.
Attitude is something which productivity will require, and a good attitude. So these are conversations which are difficult. Because how do you instill a good attitude? It starts by the kinds of activities that you engage your children in at an early age. What are we teaching our children even in our own homes? How do they see us reacting to challenges? How do they hear us addressing issues? That's what's going to shape their attitude and their mindset.
Thanks for staying with us. As the world observes World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, attention turns to the urgent fight against antimicrobial resistance, a silent yet devastating threat to human and animal health.
In 2015, the World Health Organization declared antibiotic resistance a global threat, resulting in the development of a global action plan. By 2016, all member countries were mandated by the United Nations General Assembly to develop an action plan using the global document as a template.
Antimicrobials are used around the world to control and treat infections in animals and humans, but their overuse and misuse puts their efficacy at risk. The ultimate objective is to reduce the need for antimicrobials by preventing disease. In this regard, animal diseases and infections should primarily be prevented by ensuring biosecurity, following good production and good management practices, and implementing integrated disease control programs to minimize the occurrence of diseases.
Antimicrobial drugs are also used to treat diseases in animals and plants, as well as in farming to boost production. The result is that they can end up in the environment, in water and waste from health facilities and farms, and sometimes even in our food.
Both our health and agriculture ministries, therefore, have joined forces with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, to develop a national action plan underscoring the need for a broad-based, multi-sectoral approach and response to this rising issue.
Not long ago, I sat in the lab looking at a culture plate of a urine sample taken from a 40-odd-year-old lady. And I literally felt chills down my spine as I saw that an organism was growing on it that was resistant to 21 of the 22 antibiotics tested against it. And the one antibiotic it was sensitive to would not have worked in real life. This is a scary prospect. And I'm sure persons will wonder, well, what do you do? What do you do with such a patient? So this reinforces the fact that the problem is not coming, it is already here.
Bacteria we can't stop fight. Antibiotics, take them right. Antibiotics, antibiotics. Come let me tell you how to take them right. Only take them from professionals with medical credentials. Do not share them with friends or relations. Use prescriptions, follow instructions. Take them till them done with no interruptions. Bad bacteria we can't stop fight. Antibiotics, take them right.
What do you do with your leftover antibiotics? Which I'm sure some of you have, because many persons rarely ever complete the course. Do you return it to the pharmacy, as a good citizen should? Or do you flush it down the toilet? If you do the latter, where does that water go? And how can the antibiotic influence the soil it eventually ends up in and the callaloo field it nourishes? Does that have implications for us?
MR is fueled by factors including the less than optimal prescribing of antibiotics by some physicians and inadequate adherence to recommended behaviors by patients, including completion of prescribed antibiotic courses. According to the National Survey of the Knowledge, Attitudes, and Prescribing Practices of Doctors regarding resistance in a Caribbean country, 80% of Jamaicans reported sharing antibiotics. 50% thought the same antibiotic worked for all infections. Only 14% admitted to asking doctors for antibiotics, with doctors giving them antibiotics in 90% of cases. Only 50% thought the course of antibiotics should be finished. In other words, from start to finish. You know, we have this tendency that we start taking it, we feel a little better, and we feel like we don't need to take it again. It's a very important thing, very, very serious, and it's something that we really need to do more to address.
Responsible and prudent use of antimicrobial agents include implementing practical measures and recommendations intended to improve animal health and animal welfare while preventing or reducing the selection, emergence, and spread of antimicrobial resistant bacteria in animals and humans.
In an ironic twist, the antibiotics that kill the bacteria that would kill the patient have now created bacteria that can no longer be killed by these antibiotics and will therefore kill the patient. Antibiotic resistance is real. This here is a call for action.
At RSS Natural Delights, we do coconut drops with a difference. So what we do, we take the old-time Jamaican traditional treat and turn it into a new look and taste. A healthier brand where we infuse fruits and nuts to our products. So as you can see here, we have sorrel jam with cayenne pepper, and we also have the original sorrel jam, coconut drops with cranberry, almonds, sunflower seeds, sesame seed, blueberry, coffee, and we do gizzardo with raisin, cranberry, almond, and blueberry also. Why I choose to go in this direction, it was a personal reason, and where life hit me away, where I did have to take care of my two girls. And I didn't know how to do coconut drops. But the first time when I started to do coconut drops, it turned out watery because I didn't grow up with my grandmother. I didn't know anybody that made coconut drops. So when life hit me, I go to my bed and I got a dream. And as a spiritual person, I was talking to Father God, and that was it. I get to make coconut drops. A church sister, her name is Miss Brown. I saw her downtown one day, and I said to her that, Miss Brown, can you help me to make coconut drops? And she said, yes, she can help me. She said it's just a one-time thing that, sure, I can help you to make it. So the first day she come and make it for me, and I see where it's going, I sell it off the first day. So I was thinking big, I always think big, I always positive thinking. They said speak life over your life, and that was it. And I was looking to go far, not from a home basic, but to go both locally and international. And then when I sell off the first, I said, you know that this will hit the market. No, I said, Miss Brown, I sell off the thing, you know, you can help me to make it again. And she said, all right, cut up the coconut. I didn't know how to cut coconut at that time. The first time I cut coconut, it stick me in my hand. So I tried to cut it up, and when I cut it up and everything, she said, all right, put on everything and so come back. But I never know that Miss Brown was tricking me. So as a quick learner and a visual person, I catch what she was doing, and then when she come back, I make it off. When she come back and say, Miss Brown, I make it. And she said, you see it? A survival may I teach you for. And this is how RSS Natural Delight started.
During Global Entrepreneurship Week, under the theme Entrepreneurship is for Everyone, we spotlight Jamaica's traditional entrepreneurs, or broom makers. These artisans share their journey of crafting this iconic household item.
Up on your feet and clean up the mess. Yes, look so dirty and you start for rest. Who no look ya know.
This is O'Shane Mambe. Most people call him Jadon. He's a recording artist and broom ambassador. Yes, you heard right, a broom ambassador who hails from a family of broom makers. We met him at Grace Food Festival on the grounds of Hope Gardens in August 2024. And impressed with his broom jewelry line, we had to learn more of the driving force behind his creativity.
So brooming was very unexpected. During the pandemic, Jadon released his debut album, 369, and he went to South Florida to promote, and we were locked down. So he looked around and he saw some bull touch in Palm Beach and decided to make his first broom. Took a picture, put it on social media outside of Jamaica. And it was a wildfire of requests, people everywhere asking him to ship a Jamaican broom through the US mail. And he was just giving away brooms as a token to his fans during the pandemic.
By doing that, the demand was forwarding, for the product. And by being around the warriors that I was around in Florida, the song came forward, the Broomy song. A song came forward called Broomy. And by doing the Broomy song, we decided, say, you know what, the Broomy song was getting a lot of love. So we decided, say, you know what, let's take this to the next level. Because when I was in Florida, I realized something that I was looking for all of these years, and it's how to create that bond, to create that bond, honestly, to create more work for my community, because my community is a cottage industry. My community have something that is very unique.
It was after this brief interview and learning where he was from that we decided to meet some of the broom makers of Canaanites in Clarendon, a community that specializes in the making of thatch brooms. There we met Miss Daphne and Miss Janet, who have been making brooms for over 75 years, and Michael and Kenneth, broom makers for over 20 years. The brooms are made of thatch palms sourced from within the community and other parishes. It is held together with a stick, nails, and wires.
Me used to walk around, take bus and go town, come off a 6 mile, walk for a 6 mile really for my head, reach a Constant Spring. I walk for all downtown, go a Golden Spring and beat it on foot come back down. But through me get up in the age now, I can't take it walking. So I just sell a mapping town. I just carry it out and lean up it and take them out 6 and walk around and sell. Yeah man, people buy man. Buy the dozen, some buy 2 dozen, some buy 3 dozen, 4 dozen, and it depends. I'll supermarket buy too. I sell them out of mapping town. I market there. But I stop selling broom and mapping, so tell me. I start make more. I got town. When I got town, I sell broom at $50 and $70 I get for one.
When?
Yes, long time now. And then I left and got Spanish Town and start selling Spanish Town. I got Spanish Town, I don't know. So I can get $300 for one now, Spanish Town. In our market, like when you go out, you get 5 and then money there. Everybody over here mostly can make broom, Everybody. Because I just broom, mostly I survival over here, so. With people, different from who when I work. You live at Canaanites, then give the place bad name. If you go to out, you go look work, then I give from a Canaanite you come from.
You don't know. A survival, so you have to do it. You understand? Yeah. And switch to no young and no badness and all and something that we just go and do it. You understand? Give thanks, work and go and see you understand? Keep it out of trouble.
In Jamaican homes, traditional brooms have been used for generations, valued for their effectiveness and cultural importance. However, modern plastic brooms are now more common due to their durability and ease of maintenance, leading to a decline in the demand for traditional brooms.
These are original still, same way. Still have some people where nah, look at them on the same way, natural thing. Yeah, so. You sell a broom with 3 bills, 4 bills, all different price. The price is not stable, you know. You have a man cheap and that, you have a man dear and that, same. But as you say, that's survival, so you know, you don't give up, you still do things, you know.
I used to grow, we don't grow enough father, so we grow and learn for hustle. So we make broom and go up and sell. We alright. Can't go out of bed, nobody can't wait to up, you see me? We gonna so we just stick to it. We sell them by a dozen, 1, 2 dozen of them here. So we sell a town and Spanish town. All over the road.
It's labor intensive.
Yeah, hard, yes, but if you put your mind to it, you reach where you want to reach, you see me? Sometimes all I can't do one time, you have to do some and leave some. Because I'm not trying to make for me them one day. Day by day, I do liquor.
All motorists, pedestrians, private and public operators, motorcyclists, it is important for us to drive defensively. Driving defensively saves lives, and we know that lives are most important to each and every one of us. It is important also to be trained and certified as a defensive driver, for it increases the likelihood that you'll prevent collisions on our roadways.
As we mark International Survivors of Suicide Day, this feature sheds light on the critical issue of suicide prevention. Let's look at experts' insight into recognizing warning signs, taking proactive steps to help individuals in crisis, and accessing vital support systems to promote mental well-being and ultimately save lives.
It can be challenging for some people to ask for help, even when it's just what is needed. And this is exactly why we should learn to listen, even when a person isn't talking.
Every suicide is preventable. And the only way we're going to be able to prevent these deaths by suicide if we know the warning signs and know how to respond.
If you find that someone is saying that they want to kill themselves, whether it is a joke, because some persons say, I was only joking, or whether they are serious, they need to be taken seriously. And one needs to find out what is happening with them.
Of course, someone feeling sad and even lashing out is not necessarily a sign that they will harm themselves. But if you want to take a closer look, these counselors recommend using what they call the PIN scale. Assessing someone using this method means you need to identify if there is a plan and also investigate the means of executing that plan.
The more detailed the plans that a person has to kill himself or herself, the more likely the person will. person knows the place, knows the time, and knows the method is much more at risk than the person who just say, I feel like I want to kill myself.
Then there's the intensity.
The more drastic the method, the more likely the person will complete suicide. In Jamaica, hanging, using the gun, those are the top ways in which people kill themselves. So ask the question, have you had thoughts of hurting yourself? And if you were to do it, how would you do it? And the idea is to be able to separate the person from the means of death.
With this in mind, we are able to identify the nearness, as in how near the person is to doing the act. This is usually preceded by some signs.
I often say to people, use your eyes, use your ears, and use your nose. What are you seeing? Are you seeing deterioration in the way they carry themselves? Are we seeing deterioration in their energy level? What are we seeing? Then use your ear. What are you hearing them saying? I can't take it any longer. I am a bother. I feel like I want to kill myself. And sometimes the deterioration gets to the point where there is body odor. Use your nose. Is there something going on there where your self-care is so low?
If we find that somebody is very depressed and all of a sudden, without any kind of intervention, they're just very happy and bubbly and everything is working well, it could be, as many times it is, that they have now decided that they are going to complete suicide. So they are no longer in the valley of indecision and feeling agitated. No, they are calm because they have made up their minds to complete the act. And so that is why you see that switch. So don't be fooled by it. Talk with them.
Sometimes they are so depressed that what they need is to be stabilized by the use of medication. So get them stabilized and use talk therapy.
Some who have contemplated suicide have shared that during such a time, they often felt deserted, which brings us to the support factor.
Persons who are suicidal need a lot of support because it suggests that they are not coping with different aspects of their lives. And sometimes they believe, one, nobody cares. And that is why it is important to show them that we care by listening to them, by reaching out to them.
But also realize that many of us are limited in our own ability to be able to help people who are suicidal. So get help. In Jamaica, there is the Suicide Mental Health Helpline, 888-639-5433. Call the helpline. Get to our counseling agency, Choose Life International, our flagship with counselors across the nation willing to help, 920-7924.
Get them the help they need and show them that they are loved and that they are wanted.
When somebody has expressed doom and gloom and frustrations in life, it is not a time to condemn them, to tell them how they're worthless and they're good for nothing and they're not going to come out in anything and how they're ungrateful, but love them and care for them and be very deliberate. You don't know the story of the person that you're meeting on the street. You don't know the story of the person you meet at church or at work. You don't know what they went through last night. So be gentle with your words. Be willing to speak life over them. Be positive with them.
Money are your problem? Care are your problem? Hey, whatever the problem is, just let it go, because stress is not a flex. A quick way to let go the stress is to find someone you can share your concerns with. And if you can't do that, then find other ways to release your stress, because stress is not a flex.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has embarked on a journey to help our youth let go the stress, installing wellness benches in schools across Jamaica, setting them up as safe spaces for communication about mental challenges. If you can't find a seat on the bench, get a hold of this exercise to help you alleviate the stress.
First of all, I want you to think about the worst thing that offends you and upset you and you're uncertain about. Just think about it. And then, after 3, I want to transfer the stress from the brain into the ball, and it has to show on the face. 1, 2, 3.
are you doing about antimicrobial resistance? Antibiotic resistance is recognized by the World Health Organization as one of the top 10 public health threats facing the world. Misuse of antibiotics has given rise to this global crisis. But there's hope. Safe use of antibiotics is key. Adhering to prescribed dosages and duration is crucial. Use of organic acids and probiotics can help to solve infection risks and reduce the use of antimicrobials in animals. Remember, reducing antimicrobial resistance is everybody's business. Take action today. Let's preserve our antibiotics for a healthier tomorrow.
As we conclude today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we hope you found these features informative and engaging. Stay connected with JIS through our website at jis.gov.jm and on social media. On behalf of the production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.